Madam, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Chibi sir. Chibi sir.
Mabel madam.
Shall we start, sir?
Okay, you can start.
Yes, sir. A very good morning to you all. Happy, healthy Environment Day wishes to you all. In 1972, United Nations General Assembly designated June 5th as the World Environment Day to remind people around the globe to put their trust on protecting the environmental issues. Today, UN is celebrating World Environment Day by launching UN Decade of Ecosystem Restoration, which is a 10-year plan to restore the ecosystem. Based on this regard, giving stress to this, we have organized this webinar. I invite our principal, Dr. Paul Raj, who is a hardworking, dedicated, sincere man with foresight, who motivated us in first place to organize this seminar, to deliver the presidential address, and also to welcome. Welcome, sir. Principal, sir.
Sir, you are muted. Principal.
Yes. Thank you, Dr. Mabel Starling, the organizing secretary of today's webinar. Honorable and respected Secretary of our college, Advocate L. Rajadurai. Resource person of today's program, Dr. M. Johnson, Associate Professor of Botany, also the Director of Center for Biodiversity and Biotechnology, St. Xavier's College, Palaykotai. Organizing Secretary of today's webinar, Dr. Mabel Starling. Head of the Department of Botany as well as Research Center, Dr. John C. Christabel. IQAC Coordinator of our college, Professor T.B. Thomas. Faculty members, research scholars, students, and other well-wishers associated with the environment who are participating in the online webinar program. Good morning to all of you. I welcome you all on behalf of the Nesamani Memorial Christian College, Marthantam. Two duties assigned to me, but the time given for me is just 5 minutes. Within 5 minutes, I will conclude everything. First of all, it is my privilege to welcome you all. It is my fine duty to welcome our beloved correspondent as well as Secretary of our college, Advocate L. Rajadurai. Leading advocate in southern part of the Tamil Nadu, especially in Kanyakumari district. Mostly more than 20 hours he is busy with his profession. In his busy time schedule, he is concentrating our college to promote our college in an international level academically. Whenever we approach any type of help for our improvement of the college, he immediately say yes and sanction the requirements. For today's webinar also, he is here. He is going to felicitate the today's webinar program. On behalf of the NMCC family, resource person, and all the participants gathered here, I welcome you, sir.
Thank you.
Next, it is my happy to welcome our today's resource person, Dr. M. Johnson. He is not new to our campus, new to our department. Broadly speaking, he was one of the important research scholar of late Father Madikam, the great phrenologist and taxonomist, especially in India. Basically, Dr. Johnson is a phrenologist, but later he acquired knowledge in all botanical fields, especially taxonomy, biotechnology, tissue culture, etc. About 6 years back, we invited him to conduct the workshop on tissue culture, hands-on training on tissue culture by our botany department. He successfully conducted the program, and by which more than 40 to 50 participants benefited and known the techniques on tissue culture. For today's program also, he was invited to become the resource person and deliver the talk on habitat restoration. On behalf of the NMCC family, I welcome you, sir, Dr. M. Johnson. Next, it is
Thank
my...
you, sir.
Thanks, sir. Next, it is my duty to welcome our today's organizing secretary of this today's program, that is Dr. N. Mabel Starling, Associate Professor of Botany, NM Christian College, Marthanda. Very enthusiastic and dynamic academic personality. For this program also, the department specially assigned to her to arrange this program. Accordingly, she wonderfully arranged the program. On behalf of the NMCC family, I welcome you, madam. Welcome.
Thank you so much, sir.
Next, it is my happiness to welcome our head of the Department of Botany and Research Center, Dr. John C. Christabel. She is leading the department in a successful manner. Periodically, she is conducting special programs such as webinars, workshops, or quiz programs in this department. For this program also, under her leadership only, this program is arranged. On behalf of the NMCC family, I welcome you, madam, please.
Thank you, sir.
Next, it is my responsibility to welcome our IQAC coordinator. Actually, because of the COVID-19 pandemic situation, he was also seriously affected. By the grace of God, he partially recovered from the evil things. But nowadays, he is concentrating the academic activities of our college as an IQAC coordinator. Frequently, I contact him and motivate him to conduct the various programs under the IQAC of our college. For today's program is also, he has arranged the platform. On behalf of the NMCC family, I welcome you, sir, Professor T.B. Thomas. Next, it is my privilege to welcome all the participants in this today's program. Around 100 participants, not only from our college but also globally. Many participants are attending this webinar. On behalf of the NMCC family, I welcome you all. So finally, I wish to say a few words as a presidential address, institutionally, district-wise, or state-wise, nation-wise, even international-wise, certain days are important because in order to create some awareness on the particular sensitive issues, or in order to honor some leaders, honors or give respect to our leaders locally as well as internationally, or celebrating some festivals. Some days are assigned by respective organizations or respective associations. One among the important day, that is June 5th, that is World Environment Day. As Dr. Mabel Starlin mentioned, this day was fixed by United Nations globally in 1972. Today is the 47th World Environment Day being celebrated internationally. I think most of the colleges, they're organizing different online programs because of this pandemic situation, lockdown situation, either seminars or quizzes or workshops, etc. What is the purpose of this World Environment Day? Once the world was created or formed, the entire ecosystem is totally unpolluted. That means for the survival of every flora and fauna, we need pure oxygen, pure water for drinking and other purposes, then good food items for our health of our each and every organism. But because of the population explosion, because of the population exposure, as well as the greedy nature of the human beings, we started to destroy the nature by means of urbanization, industrialization, agriculture. By so many means, we are destroying our nature. By the way, nowadays, we are thirst for the quality of the air for breathe. The drinking water, quality of the drinking water. Also the food items. We have suffered a lot every day for getting all these basic necessity items. By understanding this present situation, the World Environmentalists joined together in 1972. They conducted a convention at Stockholm and decided to give awareness among the public, ordinary people as well as educated people, to maintain the quality of the environment. In 1974 onwards, globally, most of the countries giving awareness for the welfare of our human beings. Last year, also we similarly celebrate the World Environment by the theme on celebrate biodiversity. This year, on the concept of on the theme, that is habitat restoration. In order to restore our original habitat, they assigned 3 slogans, that is 3 R's. That means reimagine, recreate, and restore. We have to reimagine our original habitat. We have to try to establish the original habitat, that is a recreate. By the way, we can restore the ecosystem of our world. So our resource person will highlight and motivate many important aspects connected with the ecosystem restoration. In this juncture, I thank our correspondent, organizing secretary, the entire faculty members of botany department, research scholars, the students, and especially the resource person, Dr. M. Johnson, for spending his valuable time and attending this program and conduct the programs in a successful manner. By these few words, I conclude my duty. Thank you, one and all. Thank you.
Mabel, madam, you have to unmute.
Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable talk. In spite of his busy, hectic schedule, our correspondent is quite kind enough to share his valuable time with us today, this morning in this webinar. He is also very much interested in ecosystem conservation. He is doing some project. I think he had presented a paper in our in a seminar conducted by our botany department also. He is partially an environmentalist. We are happy to have here you, sir, now. So I request our correspondent to felicitate us, sir.
Okay, thank you, madam. Now, first of all, I express my heartfelt thanks to God Almighty for giving protection to all of us, our staff, our members, and our family members. Now, TB sir, whether audible, sir?
Yes.
Now, in the past few months, almost all the families are crying. Almost many members, many of our friends, many relatives were no more. Now, at this crucial junction, everybody cries for O2, oxygen. Now, it's a very crucial time. Everybody is suffering for O2, oxygen. Now, in this it's a very nice program has been arranged by this botany department. So, I express my heartfelt thanks to the principal, Dr. K. Paul Raj, for his welcome address as well as the presidential address, and also his interest in this webinar program. Now, I also express my thanks to the coordinator, Dr. Mabel Starling, madam, as well as the HOD, madam, Jansi Christopher, madam, and to the TB sir for arranging this program in a nice manner. Now, I heartily express my thanks to the chief guest, Dr. Johnson. He spent his valuable time to motivate how the ecosystem has to be restored. Now, as already pointed out by the principal, by the man's wrong, we destroyed our ecosystem. Now, we cut and removed various valuable trees which produce oxygen. That is the main cause for the shortage of oxygen in the present stage. Now, moreover, now the Environment Day has been fixed in 1972. It is true. But whether now we are obliging or whether now we are following this particular environment system. For man's greedy, trees were removed, natural bunds were removed, even hills were also removed, stone quarries were also removed. Everything, what are all the natural gifts were destroyed by man. It's a man-made wrong. So because of the man-made wrong, the entire society is in trouble. That's the main reason. Now, so though in 1972, the United Nations passed this program, in 1974, Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Act, and in 1974, Water Cess Act 1974, in 1980, the Forest Conservation Act 1980, the Air Prevention and Control Act 1981, the Environmental Protection Act 1986, the Public Liability Insurance 1991, the Biological Diversity Act 2002, and various other enactments were also enacted by the central government. But still, I'm not sure that everybody is obeying to these acts. Now, recently, within few days back, our Honorable High Court has granted an interim stay to start an industry by violating the coastal regulations, wherein His Lordship has observed that it is a crucial time that we have to protect the environment, because environment is the basic source for the living nature living circumstances for everyone. Moreover, now I don't want to consume much time. Now, since I am in the legal field, in the 186th report submitted by the Law Commission, they emphasize to protect the environment. So they suggested to constitute environmental courts. So on that basis, there are various environmental courts were also started. National level, state level act courts are also there, but still their functions are how much I am not sure whether it is in a full swing or not. Now we know by our natural own eye, we are seeing that number of natural ecosystems were destroyed. Now usually used to discuss about the acts, but now it's a very nice time where nice subject has been chosen by the department, how it has to be restored. Now by way of when this topic is selected, it means that everybody came to a conclusion that ecosystem is destroyed by the peoples. Now how it is to be restored is a very crucial issue. It has been chosen by your department, and very right person as a chief guest is here to address these words. So once again, I express my heartfelt thanks to everybody for arranging this program and also giving this opportunity to be participate along with you to express some words about the legal aspect, because I am not sure about with other in a botanical name, I am not sure, I am not expert, but in so far as the legal aspect is concerned, right to clean in Article 21 of the Constitution emphasize right to clean environment is the one of the basic fundamental rights. So now this fundamental right, we are struggling for this fundamental right, though Constitution given this right. So it's a right time to rebuild it, to restore it, as pointed out by the principle, restore, recreate, or reimagine. So on this aspect, we have to put forth and we have to work on this particular task. I think this webinar will be useful for everybody, and we can also make use of this particular knowledge of the resource person, and everybody got a right or everybody got a liability to protect the environment with that same object. Let us proceed further. Thank you. Happy Environment Day, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Not only words of blessings, but also we are now aware of the aspects in legal point as well as some acts regarding the environment. Thank you so much, sir, for your blessing as well as sharing your precious time with us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now we have our chief guest, Dr. M. Johnson, who is the assistant professor as well as the director of biotechnology department in St. Xavier's College, Palayamkottai. He did his BSc and MSc at St. Xavier's, Palayamkottai, and he did his PhD at Manoanmaniyan Sundarnar University. He has almost 20 years of teaching experience. He's a good researcher. He has also received so many awards, including award from Indian Fan Society, EET, CRS, Science and Technology, and New Delhi, and so on. For his credit, he has more than 200 publications and another 30 chapters in various books, journal articles, etc. We are much privileged to have such a great eminent personality with us in this session. Now I request our resource person to enlighten us, sir.
Thank you, Mabel ma'am, for your nice words. So, respected Dr. K. Paul Raj. Excuse me, sir, please switch on my video, sir.
Yes, sir. Sir, your video is in the off mode.
Yes, no problem, sir. I will talk. Okay. Yeah, respected Dr. K. Paul Raj and respected Dr. Lawyer Rajat sir and head of the department and the IQAC coordinator and respected professor from various organizations and my dear student friends, good morning to one and all. So really, I'm very happy to join the World Environmental Day and celebrate the day with you all. First of all, I would like to wish the World Environmental Day wishes to all. And my presentation, as always, whenever I talk about the science, the presentation will goes on with three aspects: what it is, why we have to study, and how it will be. So my today's presentation also in this way only. Before starting my presentation, I would like to thank the organizers, Dr. Mabel, Dr. Jaykumar sir, Dr. John C. Christobel, and the faculty members of Botany Department, and my well-wisher, Dr. K. Palraj sir, for this wonderful opportunity to share my knowledge with the young buds and the academicians. So when I'm starting to discuss about this webinar, initially they have asked me to discuss about the present day scenario. But when I search the net, the theme is given for the World Environmental Day is ecosystem restoration. When I asked the organizers, immediately they also accepted to deliver a lecture on the ecosystem restoration. Because at this juncture, it is very much needed and very much think about the restoration. Why I'm saying that we should think about this ecosystem restoration means because of the inability of the human maintenance in the ecosystem, we are suffering for the past 2 years. The COVID is, we disturbed the ecosystem of the virus. So the virus is trying to find a habit. So the habitat we have provided, so the habitat when you provide it, so automatically it is flourishing. Because earlier it was in the animal. So that system, we are disturbed as a consumption material. We have taken that animal, and when we consume the animal, it is started to distribute their movement to all over the globe. Now all the things are stopped by a small virus. So that's why I have chosen the ecosystem restoration as my topic today's lecture. So as a biologist, as a human beings, we all are aware of that. What is ecosystem? A small third standard student can say that it is an assemblage of biotic and abiotic components. When you say that the ecosystem is providing a place to live the plant and animal and the other organisms, and each one is interacting each other. That is the important things. As our family, in a house, when there are 5 people are living, all the 5 will be interacted every day, every minute, every seconds, because we all are now assembled in the house alone. As in the lockdown is taking place, we are present in the house, so we all are interacting. That also a small ecosystem only. So when you are interacting the same way, you are providing the space for other organisms, that one you will call it as ecosystem. As a biome, when you are taking the biome, a different ecosystem assemblage, like our village or like our college, a different family background people will be there, a different religious people will be there. The same way a biome is having an assemblage of 2 or 3, the area is big, the interaction will take place. But in the ecosystem, the interaction will take place compulsion with all. But in biome, there is no need of that interaction with all the living system. This ecosystem is providing the food chain and food web. Through the interactions only, the food chain and food web. So if you affected the food chain, definitely it will affect the food web, definitely it will affect the ecosystem, definitely it will affect the biome, then it will come to the whole world also. So the system, whole system will be affected. You may think that I am making a interaction with a small organism, or I am making a hindrance for a small organism. But when it is taking place a sequence of reactions, it will affect also. As we studied a number of ecosystems, each ecosystem is having different food chain and different food webs also. So for you, a small examples I am given here, two different, the terrestrial ecosystem and the aquatic ecosystem, and this one is the forest ecosystem with assemblage of, this one you can take it as a biome also. Different kinds of food science and food webs are interlinked. So through that it is going on, based on the habitat, based on the components present in the system. The peoples are classified the ecosystem into 5 or 6 parts. So the forest ecosystem and the desert ecosystem, grassland ecosystem, mountain ecosystem, freshwater and marine water ecosystems. So these all are the classification is based on the habitat. But later on, the man-made ecosystem also is added, the crop field. So the land system, the farmland ecosystem, and aquarium. Why I'm saying that also? So we are, when you are keeping an aquarium in your house or a fish tank in your house, you are providing a space, you are providing a biotic components, so the microorganism present in the water, and you are providing the abiotic component, water and light and the temperature, all the conditions you are providing. That one only the restorations, because you are taking an animal and you are making a culture in your house or you are growing in your house, that also a restorations only. So if you performed with a rare and endangered animal, that will be conservation. But if it is a normal system also, you want to revive the system in a proper way, that you will call it as the restorations. So these all of the pictures is explaining the different biomes present in our surroundings. So where we are living, we are coming across these different kinds of biomes. So I said my presentation will goes on with 3. So what it is. So now we understand that what is the ecosystem, what are the different ecosystem, what are the different components present in the ecosystem, why we should study about this ecosystem. What this ecosystem is providing for us means the basic needs, the oxygen, water, and food. All we are taking it from the ecosystem only. That's why I said that in the ecosystem, we are interacting with each and every compound, with knowingly or unknowingly, we are making the interaction. In addition to the basic needs, they are providing the building materials as a timber material and the host of medicinal plants as a food material. Number of ways they are providing. In along with that, and it is controlling the climatic conditions, because whether we are maintaining the ecosystem or not, but ecosystem is helping us to providing us with a proper climate and proper weather conditions and the surrounding diversity conditions also. So this one ecosystem is providing, and what as a superior animal, in the ecosystem, we are not doing anything positive way of things for the ecosystem, but we are going in another way, because for our purpose, our hunger, or for our needs, we are exploiting the resources from the ecosystem, and we are pushing the ecosystem to the breaking point. So whatever the possible ways we can. So now we will see the different ecosystem, what it is supplying, and how we can help as a human beings, and a thought also. So the slides, the following slides will go in this way. When you talk about the farmlands, because this is the man-made ecosystem, first I'm taking that one means, because due to the need only, due to the overpopulation, so due to the over demand of food material, the peoples are started to use the land resources in a machine manner. So the mechanical machine, it will run for 24 hours, but the natural system is not possible. You can run for the 24 hours. So here, when you are using continuously the farmlands, earlier the peoples are having a crop rotation policies, but we don't have now the policies. We are going on with a single kind of cultivation, a mono cultivation we are following. So when you are following that one, the soil erosion, especially the nitrogen source depletions will taking place in the soil continuously. So the fertile soil is converting into a sterile soil. So the soil erosion is going on. So the yield will be decreased. So when the yield is decreased, what you will say as a superior animal, you will take the support of the synthetic material. The excess fertilizers will be taken and the excess fertilizers will be added, and you are to control the insects. You are adding the pesticides, herbicides, and all the things. When you are making that one, the fertile land is converted into sterile land. So the land is becoming useless. So because when the land is becoming useless, you are thinking about to expand your farmland. So where your land resource, next resource will be the forest. So one ecosystem is affected, further activities is extending to the next ecosystem also. So how we can restore? We have to follow the old traditional practices, the agriculture practices. We have to reduce the tillage, and we have to go for the natural fertilizers, and you have to go for pest control, crop rotations. And when you are making that one, and you can include as a fencing material trees also. Earlier, the land will fencing will be covered with the trees only. That will control the soil erosion by the wind flow also. But now we don't have that kind of practices, that one. So we have to bring back that one. So when you are rebuilding that one, the soil will become enriched, the soil will become fertile, and that will feed the need of yours and the population needs, and that will be possible. So as a people, we have to restore the farmland. If you created the restoration of the farmland, indirectly you are creating a habitat for the wildlife, because you are not going to touch the forest ecosystem. Why I am making more focus on the forest ecosystem means, so the correspondence is focused on the oxygen, oxygen, oxygen. So we observed a lot of memes on the oxygen demand. So we cut the trees, now we are importing the oxygens. So that kind of situation is going on. So I will tell how the forest is important for the oxygen, for the water, and for the climatic conditions. The forests are important because they are providing the abiotic component, required abiotic component. So we have to maintain that one. For that, we have to restore the farmland, because this nitrogen, when you are adding the inorganic fertilizer to the soil or in the form of agriculture practices, you are not only polluting the air and water and the soil, you are making a change in the climate also. So that also is making. So this picture is explaining the land exploitation, because when the population growth is going on, so day by day the peoples are started to take the forest land, because we all are living in the foothills. We know that the values of the forest also. So this one, because nowadays the rainfall rate is decreasing. So that also one of the reason, because our demand is enhancing, and day by day we are taking the forest land also, and the excess usage of agriculture to meet out our demand. We are going for a cultivation in a large scale manner. So when you are going in a large scale manner, the cultivations, so automatically the forest area degradation and the natural vegetation degradation will take place, and you are adapting a number of technologies. So these technologies are going for the excess usage of fertilizers and the pesticides and all the things. The air will be polluted, and your soil will be polluted, and the atmosphere also will be polluted. So when you are following these different practices day by day, in here and there, the Tirunelveli district people is making a shrinkage, and a Kanyakumari district, day by day, the forest availability will be decreased. So that will be the negative impact. Not only we are affecting the plain region, the hilly regions also, the mountains also, we are to earn monies to cultivate the teas and to cultivate the cocoa and to cultivate the pepper and all the things. The hilly region area also is occupied, is converted into commercial purpose. The best one example, your place, you are having a number of rubber farms. So the rubber is only the monocultivation. So you are not having the diversity. So if you have the natural forest with the rubber cultivation, that is advisable. But instead of that, we are following it with only with the monocultivation, and that one is affecting and degrading the natural resources. Next, I will talk about the forest ecosystem. So we are not only disturbing for the farmlands, for our day-to-day activities, for the firewood and for other timber purposes, the cutting of trees is going on. So to meet our financial needs also, we are depending on the forest ecosystem. And to go for that, we are making a lot of nuisances, because in the forest ecosystem, to take the grass or from the grassland, if you want to convert, and you are making a artificial firing, and the forest fire is taking place, so it will give you a huge loss. And that one, when you are making during the road construction, the flora of the present in the roadside all will be damaged by the constructing the dams and the electrical fire. You are making an input of the other birds and the mammals, and you are causing them. So all this one is making a damage to the forest ecosystem. How we can maintain or restore the forest system? So as we said that we all are making new people, you make a cultivation of single tree in your lifetime, because most of the people, we are not doing a plantation of tree in your place or in your house or in your village or wherever it is. We are not at all practicing that one. So another thing is the food system. We are following only monotonous food systems. In Tirunelveli, idli, dosa, buri, pongal, and in Kanyakumari, puttu, and all that things. So this same way the practices, the food system practices, we are depending on the single cereal or single pulses. That kind of dependency is also a major drive for the forest loss, because the farmland will be, because that the pulses will grow in a particular land, and the land production may not be met out by you people, then you will go with the neighboring forest only. So our practices, our food consumption practices, if it is changed, definitely that will help to reduce the pressure on the forest ecosystems. And this degraded and unutilized farmlands, that will be good for afforestation practices. So you can go for nurturing with the new trees and other things. Through that, you can create a forest ecosystem. Through that, you can provide also. And you take a note that forest is providing a habitat for 80% of the world amphibians. So this one is the thing is providing a space for all this one. The birds and the mammals, the habitat is the forest ecosystem. If we disturb that one, definitely. So these all are the practices what we are following at present for our own needs. They are disturbing the forest ecosystems. And the third one will be the lakes and rivers. That is another important one. Now we are running for oxygen, and now we will go for water also. So we don't have a pure water. So every house earlier we have our own water system. We will take and drink immediately without any purification, without anything. But now wherever we go, we are taking a Bisleri water bottle. So we need a purity and the safe, because the microbial contamination is more in the natural water system. How it is evolved, how the water system is polluted. So the lakes and rivers are polluted by the superior animal, the human beings. For our own purpose, we are running a number of industries. The industries pollution, all the toxic materials are dumped in the lakes and rivers only. So that will be degraded. So the system will be degraded by the pollutions and the overfishing. For our needs, we are going for overfishing. Overfishing in the freshwater ecosystem, there is no act. But in the marine system, the act is available. But for the freshwater system, there is no act for that as per my knowledge is concerned. If any act is there, we can ask Rajendra sir if whether any fishing act is available for the freshwater ecosystem for the breeding period and all the things. And the infrastructures, what we are creating for that one also is going day by day, it is decreasing. So this is the place we have to restore. How we can reduce that one? We have to reduce the pollution. So the usage of the toxic material has to be reduced, dumping into the rivers and the lakes, because you can see that Tamrabarni rehabilitation program is going on. Baiga River is going on. Kaveri is going on. Ganga is going on. So all the places we have plenty of rivers, but all are polluted. Any river we can say that is pollution-free river, a pollution-free lake. Only Kodaikanal we have Perism Lake, that is pollution-free lake. The other areas we polluted as much as possible. So this one is when you are polluting that one, the fishes need a oxygen. The demand, you maybe studied the BOD, biological oxygen demand and chemical oxygen demand, that will be making a clash. So how we can build this COD and BOD, reviving the vegetations only. So the lakes also is having the submerged vegetation flora. So we have to build that one. So through that we can develop that also. And we know that many fishes eat insects, and you have to restore the river birds with the insect loving trees and other small plantlets. So when you are growing that one, automatically the insects will come and the fish also will get that one, and through that the system will be required. So this is the earlier one and how the lake ecosystem is there. But due to our activities, so one is from Dindikal, one is from Madurai, and one is from the Noyal, Coimbatore. So you can see that how we are polluting. A number of people are making an attempt to restore the ecosystem. And this one is expecting from you people. We have to restore. How we have to restore the channels, all the things has to be, the barrier has to be clean, and we have to provide the fencing areas with the small vegetation. Through that, the flow will take place. And this person, really, we have to salute to him. Tanvir, he belongs to the engineering faculty, but even though he belongs to engineering faculty, he protected 4 lakes on his own interest. So he is as a tuition teacher, and he taken some students' help and he cleaned the lake, and later on the pupils also joined with them, and the activities are taken. They cleaned all the lakes and they stored also. She is Vanita Mohan from Coimbatore. He is the owner of Tricol company. So she is a crorepati, but she has taken a more effort through a Sirutuli NGO organization. Through that, she is restoring the Noyal River. So these kind of activities as a younger generation, we should take forward and we should go further. And the next one will be the grassland and the savannas, and the shrublands and grassland savanna also is overgrazed, because when you are decreasing the forest lands, definitely the animals will move towards into where the food is available. So when it is moving, the population number is increasing, so the grazing is going on. So all will take more the things, yes, and the introduction of the alien species also. The foreign species. When you are introducing foreign species for the ornamental purpose and some other purpose, definitely they will also make an effect in that one. And the thing how we can make a reintroduction in the grassland, the unwanted material has to be removed off and introduce a plantlet, the native plantlets, and protect that one. And this savannas and the grassland is evolved 1 million years ago than our evolutions. And these all are the some activities is going on here and there for the restoration of that grassland ecosystem. And the people are thriving it, and through that only they can protect. And you can see the graph and how the savanna and the grassland degradation is going on in the in Indian conditions. You can compare You can compare the first graph of the 2019 and the second graph also. The year did the same. The thing is here, the degradation is going on due to the man-made activities. The savanna grassland degradation is going on. And the fifth one will be the mountains. In the mountain regions also, we are clearing the slopes for the farming and the rest house. Even Ooty, Kodaikanal, you can observe that a number of cottage constructions are going on. They are damaging the natural system. And when you are damaging that one, because when you are clearing the slopes, that is giving a space for the landsliding and the soil erosions, or you can say that simply it is the avalanches. So that all will be, because when you are disturbing all the things, yes, elevation of temperature is going on, because a temperature elevation definitely it will have a cause in the ecosystem also and the living of the organism also. So definitely we will feel that we have to move to a comfortable place. So the temperature, if it is abnormal, we will not stay in that place and we will move further another places. So like that, the thriving will goes on, it will force. So we know that we are observing a number of parts of the glacier breakage is going on. Almost 600 glaciers already vanished. So if it is going on, definitely one day we will face a lot of problem for the water availabilities. Water availability and loss also will be there from the natural disaster. So we have to keep that things. See here, for the nearby, the mountain, the settlements are increasing every day. The settlement is increasing, mean definitely it will affect the forest ecosystem also. And that all will be. And finally, I'm coming to the ocean and the coast. So we are living near the ocean ecosystem only. But how much we are damaging? We are taking the fishes and we are taking the required material from that. And but we are not doing anything to them. So this is the naturally evolved ocean and the things with the coral reefs, with the mangroves and all the things is evolved. But as a man-made people, we are dumping the waste material in the ocean. The major waste will be plastic debris only. So even though we are contributing less only, but we have to think that we have to reduce as much as possible to bring down. Because when you are dumping, the natural ocean is converted into the pashash in the sense waste only. So this slide is explaining different plastic material, how many years it will take for the degradation, how it is affecting the marine ecosystem. And we have to salute this person. He is Mr. Satish, Ranger Officer of Gulf of Mannar. He conserved the sacred, mangroves in the coastal region for more than 35 kilometers area. The mangroves he cultivated and he restored that one. And for that, the IUCN is honored. Now, the recently Tamil Nadu government also is honored him for the restoration activities. These mangroves are playing a crucial role in the marine ecosystem. With this survival only, because the utility is going on more. They are consuming more carbon molecule, and next to that, we are not having practice of these peatlands, but the Western countries, their peoples are having the peatland. Peatland is nothing but wasteland with the water stagnant area. So we may have very small areas only, but in the foreign countries, they have more. What is the important means? Their peatlands cover only 3% of the land surfaces, but they store almost 1/3 of all the carbon in its soil. So that consumption is needed because the carbon level decreasement is needed for the climatic change. So when it is decreasing, it is an advantageous one. So here how we have to properly maintain the peatland in the sense the drainage, proper cleanage has to be done. நம்ம ஊர்ல சொல்லுவாங்கல்ல தூர் வாடுறதுன்னு சொல்லிட்டு, the வாய்க்கால் தூர் வாடுறது மாதிரி the wasteland also clearing has to be. This is actual picture of the peatland, because in even in Nagarkoil, I have observed this one near Marunduwal Malai. The bottom of the Marunduwal hills, we have observed a peatland also. In this place only, I have collected ophioplasm and isoitis. If I needed these two funds, I have to go to the peatlands only. So only I can get in this place only the vegetations also. So that kind of, and the urban area, this is the our things is all we want to make our place as cities and towns, but it will look like ecological desert. There is no room for the vegetations in their house because the municipal corporation is saying that we have to give space for the cultivation of plants and all the things, but they are not following any rules and regulation. Simply they are making that one. But in urban, a huge potential is for the restorations. So the city peoples, we have requested to go for at least a cultivation of grass. So because to consume our carbon, because what we are releasing, it has to be consumed. But when you are comparing the foreign places, more than 280 species of birds have been recorded in New York City's Central Park. The city's Central Park is in the heart of the New York City, and in that place they are able to have 280 species of birds, where the birds will be there, where a huge trees are there, where the fruit trees are there, where a good habitats are there. In that place, the birds will be survived. So here you can witness that one, how we have to develop our system in that way. So these all are the problems related to the urbanizations. And the urbanization is making another way. When you are constructing a bus stand or a airport or any construction from the government side, definitely it will be from a lake or it will be from a pond only. Tirunelveli bus stand is present in a pond only, and Nagarkoil bus stand is present in a pond only, and Madathavani bus stand Madurai, it is present in a pond only. So you compare that one, even the Chennai bus stand, that also in the lake only. So this kind of development is going on, because when you are developing something, definitely you are destroying the natural process. Now I am coming to my point, the ecological restorations. So we have understand what are the causes, what are the different ecosystem is present. And now as a ecological restorer practitioner, how I can do? So my duty is assistance only, because the ecological restoration is the process of assisting the recovery of an ecosystem. You are bringing back to the habitat. So how you are going to bringing back? Why you are bringing back to the natural system? Because you only damaged, you only degraded, you only destroyed the ecosystems by our bad practices, road construction, the poaching activities, and the dam constructions, and all the things is damage, degraded, and destruction. So the principal sir and Rajadhuri sir is pointed about 3 R's: restore, reimagine, recreate. But now I am asking you, please don't do these 3 D's. Don't damage the ecosystem. Don't degrade the ecosystem. Don't restrict the ecosystem. As much as possible, you try. You create a condition needed for the recovery. As a practitioner, we should have the patience, because the restoration is not one-day work or 1 month work. It may take years, it may take decades, or it may take 100 years also. So that one will be, should be. So when it is taking more time, we should be given more cost also. So when you are approaching the ecological restoration, what are the things we have to do? First thing is, what is the cause of the degradation? So the ecosystem is degraded. How this ecosystem is degraded? Which one is responsible for this degradation? So first you have to find out that one. And second one, you have to identify any invasive species introduction is there. Now the thing is the black fungus. The black fungus is introduced. How the black fungus is entered? Due to our bad practices. The mask, we are not properly sterilizing. Continuously, when you are using the mask for more than 4 hours, that will definitely a possibility for the development of black fungus. So you are providing the environment. You are damaging your own ecosystem. Your surrounding system is not clean, and you are providing a space for the organisms. The same way it will. So the pipeline, if you are not maintained properly, definitely a deposition of the algae will be there, and deposition of some other dead material will be there. The same way we have to identify which one is causing the responsible, the invasive species. We have to take that one. We have to introduce a native species. When you are introducing a native species, that one will reduce the competition because it will create a competition for the invasive species. So definitely, which one is surveying? So automatically you will take the invasive species out and you will allow your own species. Definitely the building will take place. So if they simply cultivated and if you provided the environment, that is enough. Automatically the plants and the animals and the microorganisms will restore themselves because you are not going to construct anything. Your role is going to take and clearing the system, and you are allowing the system to mechanically function in the historic trajectories. So that has to be taken place. So the ecological restoration always goes with three aspects. It should be healthy, and it should be an integrated one, and it should be sustainable one. Because a healthy in the sense, we have to go for the functional processes. The ecosystem has to reduce the carbon dioxide from the ecosystem. It should provide a good water, a good oxygen. That is the healthy. Integrity in the sense, the species composition. We have to take all the things as whether is the species is having a beneficial role or not, whatever it is, the diversity has to be maintained. So when the diversity is there, definitely the integrity and the success will be there. Sustenance, and it is depends on the resistance and disturbance. So this is the general guidelines for the ecological restoration. When you are starting, I am humbly requesting you, a lot of hamlets are available near Kanyakumari district, near Martanda. So you take, if you started to clean a single hamlet or a single pond, definitely. And I'm making a humble request to the principal sir, through the NSS program, please restore whatever the ponds and the lakes is available nearby your places and restore it. That will help your local people also and our surrounding environment. As educators, we can provide the services. So access the site and what is the current condition of the site. So how the causing disturbance is going on, identify the methods and stop the reversing disturbance. For the goals and financial assistance and other things. After planning out, remove the disturbance, the toxic material, soil eroding, overpopulation, invasive species, and all the things. And you can restoring the process. Restore the tidal flow in the sense you are giving a initial irrigation and the other things. Through that, the plant material and the vegetation will survive. Through that, they will develop, restore the soil textures, and the biotic and the abiotic components of the system will be restored. And through that, the vegetations also will be restored. And finally, you have to go for monitoring and maintaining. And here I have given the website for the invasive species catalog. So to identify the invasive species, which one is my native species, which one is invasive species, to identify that, the catalog is available. Through that, you can using that. So as the UN said that the emergence of COVID has shown just the disastrous consequences of ecosystem. By shrinking the area of the natural habitat of the animal, we created ideal conditions for the pathogens, including the coronavirus to spread. Now we are making the conditions for the black fungus also. We are aiming to go for multi-story buildings and other things. So in that, to remove the mountain, to remove the natural ecosystem, we are storing that one. We are started as a fashion to cultivate the trees in the multi-story buildings. Instead of that, better we go for the cultivation in the natural system. So the natural system will be survived. Together we can be a generation of restoration. Thank you. Any queries, please? Dear participants, please, if you have any queries, please.
Any clarifications? Sir? Sir, I have one doubt.
Yes, ma'am.
Looking to clarify. How we can reclaim or restore this peatland? You mentioned peat ecosystem.
Yeah, ma'am. The peatland we can easily restore, ma'am. The thing is, first we have to remove the top layers.
Ah,
Then we have to allow the excess water content to wet. And
Yeah, sir.
once again, we have to give the natural vegetation. So the required vegetation for that particular area we have to be provided. The native species has to be introduced. So if we introduce, automatically it will be survived and it will be revived.
yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Water has to be. For that, you have to make a channel. சின்ன பாலம் மாதிரி போடலாம். Water levelக்கு மேல இருக்கிறப்பல ஒரு பாலம் போட்டோம்னா definitely the water will go down, and through that you can maintain.
Yeah, yes. Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Any other clarifications? Now I call upon or I request our HOD, Dr. Jansi Christabel, to deliver the vote of thanks. She is the motivating factor for the conduct of this webinar, and she was with me in all the preliminary preparations regarding this webinar, and she gave me valuable suggestions, and she is she played a major role in the successful conduct of this seminar. And now I request my HOD to deliver the vote of thanks. Ma'am, please.
Madam, you have to unmute your mic. Chauncey, madam. Yes, madam.
Thank you, madam. Good afternoon to everyone. Honorable Correspondent cum Secretary, Advocate L. Rajathurai, Resource Person, Dr. M. Johnson, Presidents of the webinar, our Principal, Dr. K. Palraj, Organizing Secretary, Dr. N. Mabel Starlin, then my dear colleagues, faculty members, research scholars, students participate in this seminar. It is my privilege to propose vote of thanks on this memorable occasion. First and foremost, I thank the God Almighty for making this webinar, the World Environment Day. It is a resounding success for everyone. So I thank the God Almighty for protecting us in this situation also, and attending this webinar, organizing and attending the webinars. Once again, thank the God. I'm very glad to thank our correspondent cum secretary, Advocate L. Rajathurai. He accepted our request to facilitate the webinar, and also he neatly present the various Environment Protection Act. Also keep bless our webinar also. In this occasion, our department thank to him and also the management for giving permission to organize the webinar. Thank you, sir. It is my thank to our resource person, Dr. M. Johnson, Assistant Professor and a Director, Center for Plant Biotechnology, St. Xavier's College, Kolimbote, who spent his valuable time gracing this occasion. Within 1 week, he prepared such lot of informative materials regarding the ecosystem and how it is destroyed and how it is how we can restore it. Various information he collected and now he explained neatly through photos in this webinar. Sir, today the World Environment Day, we had the opportunity to hear your thoughts on all these matters regarding the ecosystem and how it is destroyed, etc. Your talk is informative, encouraging us in the pandemic situation. You got related your talk with the COVID also. That is very much useful to you. Sir, your thoughts have enlightened our minds and shown us a new path to improve the livelihood of the people. We are all dependent upon the ecosystem for all our basic needs. So it is very useful to restore it. So on behalf of our department and myself, I thank you, sir. Then I express my thanks to our principal, Dr. K. Palraj, the president of this webinar. He always motivates and guides our department activities. Especially today, we asked him, sir, the situation is suitable for conduct this webinar. See, he encouraged us, you must conduct such a way, he guides us and motivates us. Today, he welcomed the participant, welcome all of us, and also he gave a nice president's address. On the behalf of our department and myself, I thank our principal, sir. Next, I thank Dr. Neighbor Starling, the PG HOD, also our organizing secretary of this webinar. I asked her, at once she didn't deny it. Some suggestion will I give. She organized, he took a great effort to finish it a success one. Madam, I thank you. I also thank my colleagues, Dr. S. J. Kumar, Dr. P. David Samuel, Dr. Sugumaran, and also the PG colleagues for their suggestion and support to conduct this webinar. My special thanks to the IQ's coordinator, Professor T.B. Thomas. His valuable contribution and accompanying this meeting and technical support, all this make this webinar a successful one. Thank you, sir. Last but not least, today more than 115 participants from globally attended this webinar. They are faculty members, research scholars, then students from other areas and national level also attended this webinar. I express my sincere thanks to all of them. Definitely, the webinar will help you to restore and protect our ecosystem. Take care of your health. Take care of earth also. Thank you, one and all. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.